It's been a little while. I was talking to Jordan. Jordan told me that after every 100 episodes or whatever,
chapters.
Every 100 chapters.
I call it episodes too sometimes.
But pretty much, you have something big happens in the arc, kind of either ends it or kind of like caps it off or whatever, and kind of move from there. Mm-hmm. So Jordan, again, please tell us what's happened at episode 900.
So chapter. Now you threw me off. Chapter 900. Did we talk about how the ship? Oh no, we didn't.
No,
we did not. So in chapter 900, Big Mom finally eats the cake. No pun intended. Big Mom ate the cake. And she was so infatuated with the cake that she broke out into song, and it got really, really creepy really quick because a lot of bad things started happening as soon as she was. I don't even remember how the song went, to be honest with you.
What do you mean by creepy?
Like so one of Big Mom's origin things is that like she ate her friends.
Stop it.
And her caretaker. And like she opened her mouth when she was singing, and it zoomed in on her mouth, and there's like graveyards in her mouth. It wasn't like shown that she ate them, but it was implied, and that kind of, sealed the deal
when
for
Big
any
Mom's
skeptics.
Hungry, Big Mom's
Don't be
hungry.
next to her when she's hungry. She'll eat you.
She really will.
Yeah.
And not like you'll survive in her stomach, like she'll chew.
No,
so
you're dead.
Semi spoiler, but not really. We kind of learned through that you can get a devil fruit by eating someone that has the devil fruit.
Big Mom has never actually eaten a devil fruit.
She ate someone that had one, and that's how she has her devil fruit.
That is story.
That is weight. That is weight. That, my good sir, is story. But yeah, so as she gets to the climax of her song, a cannon actually hits the Straw Hat's ship, and there goes Straw Hat's ship.
Yes.
Did it still have Go and Mary?
No, we're on something different now.
Okay, but they put the ship out though.
But they fucked that ship.
Damn.
And
I'm
then
gonna cry when the Go and Mary get fucked up.
Oh, it is.
It is really sad.
sad.
Sorry.
It is sad.
So,
but it's beautiful. But you had to know that you knew. You had to know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So, but then chapter 901 came out.
Oh, it?
Yeah, it did. This past week. Turns out they didn't hit the ship.
Oh, okay.
So we're good. We're good. I just wanted to see you sad for a second. So
Getting sad.
it turned out that the fishmen that were helping them trying to escape, which I kind of missed that part, but yeah, the fishmen came to help them escape. They replaced the Sunny, which is the new ship, with the fisherman ship. So that actually got hit. And this big fish guy put them in his mouth and kind of swam away with them. So they have some distance. But so the fishermen are trying to hold off Big Mom pirates, and the fishmen are kind of giving a fight, but it's kind of like you don't want to fight Big Mom's crew. So Jinbei's like, you know what, I gotta join. I gotta help protect my crew.
It's more like the fishermen are people who are fighting in water.
Yeah.
And Big Mom has a crewmate who was essentially an oven. His name is Oven. And his power is heat. So he's just heating up the water, making it hard for people who are fighting in water.
Honestly, you just
will bake you bitches. Boil bitches.
You don't want to mess with the Big Mom pirates. That's what we're learning this arc. But one thing that was good is Luffy ended up saying, Jinbei, you go help them, but I'm your captain now. I want you to meet me in Wano.
I'm the captain now.
Yeah, I know the way.
I am the captain now.
So
even if you die, don't
die.
That's
Luffy.
the title of the 901 arc.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Chapter.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So
Jinbei gets a little
Big
half
Mom
smile.
is on her way too. And strangely enough, someone pointed this out, we haven't been seeing too much of Sanji. Like, Sanji's kind of been missing in the thing, and Sanji's kind of the strongest right now because Luffy's tired and Jinbei went off the ship. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, that kind of, I think, for the most part, wraps up that chapter. So it looks like we're going to Wano, which everybody's been waiting for. and that's where the other half of the Straw Hat crew is. So, pretty excited.
I just wanted to inform everybody that with our changes to the expansion pack, we'll be coming to Jordan on the day or day after these chapters drop. Jordan.
I accept the challenge.
No problem. Or Roy.
Either or. I can do it. It's fine. Either or.
So, I mean, I don't know if there's too much to discuss this time. It's just. I mean, even in general, I mean,
actually, I did want to talk about one thing real quick.
Yes.
So now that we're at 901, we've kind of seen what the Big Mom Pirates can do, and this kind of goes back to our text message story. Who are the Big Mom Pirates that stick out to you?
Yes.
And what do you think of the Yonko to this point? Yes. And just anything that has in your mind that you want to talk about or that you want to explain from the Whole Cake Island arc.
I think, again, always going back to Luffy versus Katakuri. Okay. I think...
Here, actually, the 3 Sweet Commanders and then the 3 that are under them, Oven, Daifuku, and Perospero. Okay. Or whatever, however you say it.
It's Perospero.
Focus on those guys. I want to know where you think they are.
I think the way Oda set up the first 2 Luffy fights, or the only 2 Luffy fights, I think he did a bad job. I've heard from the anime that Luffy versus Cracker doesn't look as impressive, and I think I haven't watched it yet because I don't watch as much as it. I let it build up and then do a whole bunch. So if indeed in the anime Cracker does look a little bit more pushover-y and Luffy looks less serious or kind of, not really trying as hard as he could, then I think, yeah, sure, the manga is seen as the true canon, the true vision of Oda. I think in that regard, that is Oda rectifying how he made it seem.
Just a quick note on that.
Yes.
I saw the fight. To me, Cracker seemed really intimidating.
Really?
And it actually was a pretty decent fight. But no, I just wanted to put my that's my opinion.
Yeah, if it is that way. I think starting off, they made Cracker too strong. They either made Cracker too strong or they made Katakuri less impressive than he should have been.
Okay, I respect that.
Luffy had way too much difficulty against Cracker. And coming to Katakuri, I think initially the way they showed him, he was as powerful as he needed to be. Luffy could, that is from understanding more of his power, the way Katakuri was fighting Luffy at the start, he was not fighting Luffy the way he normally fights. He was, if Katakuri normally, if he normally drives, like motorcycles, he doesn't drive cars ever. And then he gets like this dude who's an amazing car driver. He's like, all right, I don't drive cars, but I'll do what you do. He put himself in Luffy's position and beat him in his own position. And from that perspective, it was well done from the start. And Luffy couldn't handle him. And so I think the way in which that fight progressed diminished.
Basically what you're saying is like, they showed everything that Luffy is good at.
Yes.
And Katakuri was better at what Luffy was good at, basically.
Yes.
So he was just outclassing him in his own game.
At your best, you're still not better at the person not fighting at their best. That's how it started, which is great. And now, when it started, I was like, either Luffy is not gonna win, or he's either not gonna win and manage to get away, or he's somehow going to get a new peek at something that is going to make sense as to why he can do this. Snake Man does not answer that question.
Yeah.
Him being able to dodge versus the man who is, up for all intents and purposes, the information we've been given, the best dodger in everything, doesn't make sense that he can't dodge but Luffy can. So I think Katakuri wasn't given the true breadth that he could have been shown.
Okay. And
Smoothie, we haven't seen her, but she's in between Cracker and Katakuri, so I expect her to be equally impressive. No matter what she does, it won't necessarily move me. I'll just be like, yes, I'm glad you are as powerful as you need to be.
Okay. And then you kind of gave a little bit of Cracker, but do you have anything else to...
No, I mean, I think I loved the way Cracker was. His power, he doesn't like getting hit, so like he is... And I feel like that is maybe they can maybe that's one way to kind of break my argument down, saying Cracker is just offensively sound. Offensively and defensively, he is sound. But once you can break
actually
through,
get his,
then that's where his weakness is. Whereas Katakuri being exactly
find ways to get it
exactly
around that.
exactly Katakuri would be able to find ways. So maybe
resilience.
Exactly. So maybe what Oda saw was the difference between Cracker and Katakuri isn't their actual offensive and defensive strength. It's their overall well-roundedness.
You know what?
That would be very interesting.
I had an interesting thought.
What's up?
In just 5 seconds, but
no.
What would have been cooler if Luffy used Snake Man to get the upper hand on Cracker.
Yeah.
And then he used Tank Man to actually get a big blow to Katakuri. I think that actually would have been a lot more satisfaction. Exactly. If they would have switched how they beat them. Yeah. I feel like that actually would have made a little bit more sense.
Again,
because Luffy sent Cracker flying all through Whole Cake Island.
Yeah.
And that was a powerful blow that made sense.
Yeah.
Snake Man didn't make sense how it got the hand over.
Exactly.
But if Luffy did the whole snake thing to get around Cracker's Biscuit Warriors,
that would have made sense, because snaking around someone who can see the future doesn't make sense, because he can
see the future.
But that's
anyway. Okay.
So I mean that's so I think if the difference in all of them isn't pure power but strategy and overall well-roundedness, then that is maybe a facet I haven't looked at. Okay. And I can accept that. But in that being said, that would mean that Smoothie isn't necessarily stronger than Cracker or necessarily weaker than Katakuri. Mm-hmm. Katakuri is just more
adept at fighting.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that, again, is a perfectly valid. Okay. But I haven't seen anything that alludes to that. And so I'm going to take it in the typical kind of anime trope where you're better and linked higher because you're stronger.
Okay. And now the three brothers, Oven, Daifuku,
and the three brothers. Perospero has fully and completely impressed me. Mm-hmm. At first, I thought he was kind of lame. He's impressed me. Oven, I mean, he's probably very interesting and very impressive.
I like Oven.
But
we argue on this one.
You can find ways around it.
Yeah, but I mean, the reason he's not impressing me is because he's using heat power in water to render all the fishmen weak. So to me, that's not a show of how cool he is, but a show that it is just a bad place. Yeah, these people are just in a bad place at a bad time. If they were on land, would he be able to immobilize them in the same way? You know what I'm saying? To me, and that's why it's cool that he's but I think he's just situationally the best character there. In a similar way, Perospero would have been cool like that because his goo managed him to surf over the water, and I kind of brought that up. I was saying that the reason why it's not so impressive to me is because their bodies can't be in water, but their powers themselves can affect the water. Mm-hmm. So when Aokiji uses the ice on the ocean, after he did that, the first time he did that, I was extremely impressed, but I was like, you know what, that makes sense. And I can understand why. And ever since then, you've seen it with magma. You've seen it with electricity to a certain degree. I mean, that's even why, again, the reason why I don't find Oven so interesting is we go back to the Angel, the Sky Island arc,
Skypiea.
And Eneru. He was well beyond the weight class of Luffy. And all of them. Yeah.
They said, wouldn't have been Oda actually said if he would have given him a bounty, it would have been 500,000 at that point.
Yeah, and that's only because he's been isolated, so he doesn't know how strong other people can be. He was overestimating his power, but Eneru was well beyond Luffy's fighting. Luffy should not have been in. But the reason why was because Eneru's power was electricity, Luffy is rubber. Electricity literally can't do anything to him, and so that's just a bad matchup. It's not that Luffy is that strong; it's just that Eneru got unlucky.
Yeah, and he didn't know that.
And that is how I look at Oven in this case. It's not that Oven is that strong; it's just that these people are unlucky, and that's not to diminish him. It's just he's not as impressive. And so I think Daifuku, the things Perospero has done so far has impressed me because he tanked a suicide bomb. Okay. That in and of itself is impressive. The dude who was doing it had full understanding he was going to die. His comrades had full understanding. That genuinely impressed me. I was like, wow.
He walked away, I think, with only a lost arm, basically.
And so moving on from there, as the Yonko overall, I think this has been a great showing of what a Yonko is. Big Mom, for the most part, wasn't phased. The whole point of this was to assassinate Big Mom. They didn't even make a dent at all. And and maybe the one chance they maybe could have with the poison, we're not guaranteed the poison would have killed her. Like they want us to think that, but that's probably not.
The bitch can eat everything.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So I think this is how Yonko are supposed to seem. Everyone loves the Marineford arc. I'm a contrarian, as Justin will tell you. It didn't impress me. Trust me, you will be impressed by it. But to me, it was. Yeah.
You have lower standards, but trust me.
It's not that you have lower standards. I just have different. I'm just different. And
I'm just unique.
And oh my gosh. And the reason why was because it was a terrible showing of Whitebeard's crew. Piss poor.
Real quick on that note, actually, King of Lightning had a really shout out King of Lightning. They had a really good discussion with the Big Mom pirates do better in Marineford than Whitebeard did. But we'll talk about that later.
And the reason, if I'm judging based on what we were shown, I would say yes. But if I'm going to judge them by what Oda intends, I would say maybe. Whitebeard was old. He was starting to get hurt. So Whitebeard did not have his personal strength wasn't there. So he kind of was regressing. So Big Mom Pirates would have had a better chance at doing it. Can I say for sure? No, because they had essentially 4 admirals. They have the head admiral and then there are 3. And up until this point, we have to assume the way in which I look at it is a Yonko is a strength of at minimum 2 admirals at minimum. And then I think the 3 Sweet Commanders are from the top the same as an admiral or maybe a little bit stronger, and at the bottom, so Cracker is equal or just slightly under. That way we have Big Mom and her 3 commanders equaling the four admirals that the Marines have, right? And then when we look at Daifuku, we have Perospero and we have Oven. Then they are your highest tier vice admiral. And we've seen in the past, going from vice admiral, it's literally the next step, so there have to be some admirals either close or at the level of admiral, but oftentimes they tell us who those are. And currently we know there's one vice admiral. No, he's actually an admiral. Fujitora, he's an admiral, right? Or
he's an admiral.
Oh, yeah.
He replaced the ice guy.
Yes, Aokiji. So for the most part, all vice admirals are assumed levels below unless we're adequately told. So then I would assume that those next 3 in Big Mom's crew are
vice admiral level.
Are not I'd say they're above vice admiral level, but since there's more vice admirals than those 3 commanders, all of the vice admiral and then some peons then begin to approach that. Otherwise the balance in power isn't there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Otherwise one Yonko's crew is stronger than the whole Marines, and that completely throws out the battle. The whole point of the Marines is their 5th power. Each of those powers have to be equal, whereas the Yonko are selfish. One of them wants to be the leader, so they'll never team up to destroy the Marines or the world government, and that's what the world government counts on. If 2 of them teamed up, they are going to rule everything, but then they're going to get into a fight about it. And so that's why I see all 5 being equal. The 4 Yonko and the Marines are all equal in strength. And that is why I can say Oven and all the other 2 are impressive, but not that impressive. And then I can say the way in which they showed Whitebeard's crew wasn't that impressive because they were obliterated. And it wasn't just Whitebeard's crew, it was Whitebeard's crew and help, because he brought all of his alliances with him, And that is where I was never impressed at Whitebeard's showing. But that's just like my whole scheme and understanding of it.
Don't you ever ask this fool that detailed of a question.
I did not expect that.
Like when you asked, I knew what it was, but since it's the season finale, it's okay. I gave this to you, One Piece fans. Good job. I'm sure what you said made very much sense.
yeah, he's still behind, so he's catching up. But I didn't ruin anything.
Where I left off at episode 70.
Yes, Justin.
Fucks. I'll make it quick. Where I was at, they were on Little Garden, and so pretty much whatever the fuck these numbers are, Mr. 4, Mr. 5, whatever, Miss Valentine, they come on there. They're looking for they're trying to get the bounty on the 2 giants. They find them, and now they have like this candle dude. I think it's Mr. 2, Mr. 3, Mr. 3. He's real queer.
Yes, he is.
He pretty much wants to make people into candles and burn them.
He's very demented as well.
He's a very demented individual. So pretty much
I need the thingy behind me doing what I'm doing. The green screen.
Oh, I got you. So yeah, so Zoro's gonna cut off his legs to save everybody because they were all on a candle to look like a birthday cake. Everybody was pretty much fucked. We all came to that conclusion, and Luffy, he was getting worked out by this chick that draws paintings, and the paintings are very strong and they make you do certain things. And so Usopp comes out of nowhere. He's
depressed.
like Luffy, what the fuck are you doing? And then Luffy becomes mentally empowered to do things, which was like whatever. And he was like, hey, you know what beats candle wax? Heat. It's like, oh shit, you right. So they started melting shit, and then they whatever the fuck that was. And so now Luffy's chasing down Candlejack. I like calling him Candlejack because it reminds me of Freakazoid. If you watch the episode of Freakazoid, which I will put on the green screen, that's just creepy as hell. Candlejack's terrifying from Freakazoid. Shout out Warner Brothers. But either way, he finds Candle Dude, Mr. 3. Mr. 3 tried to do the thing where he's like, oh, I'm like 50 different fucking people, you can't guess which one I am. And then Luffy just sticks his ass right in the middle. He's like, bitch, he was in the middle. How'd you know? Bitch, because I knew. And that was the end of it. So Candle Dude got his ass knocked the fuck out. They got knocked out like the way Team Rocky used to get knocked out, flying in the fucking air and turning.
Yeah, they really did get
shit was cool.
Sent to the stars.
And then so the giants and shit, they at first they thought that the giant was dead. One of the giants was down. Like fucking name, I really don't care. But
they laughed hilarious.
Yeah. But one of the giants was dead. We found out that they had a little backstory, like, oh, they gotta fight each other till one of them dies, and they've been fighting for so long, and one finally died, and the other one felt bad, and then the candle dude was like, hey, I poisoned him, you a bitch, and then that made a whole thing. But then, he's not dead, he's back alive.
I told you.
Yeah. So he comes back alive, everybody's all happy and shit, and so one thing that I liked about One Piece that I learned about a week ago was that they understand that shit isn't just feces, and it's not just a swear word. So they said we landed on an island, and we thought it was an island, but it wasn't an island. It was just a big piece of shit from a big ass fish monster.
That's hilarious.
And that's how they got into a fight, because they found one of them like captured a fish monster. They both captured like one of the little big ass fish monsters, and they argued about which one was bigger. But essentially, when they landed, they were on a giant ass piece of shit, and you know what they called it? Nothing Island. So it's like they mean like, what you doing? Shit, nothing. One Piece is kind of black, so that was cool. So pretty much from there, they're heading back off. They're going to wherever. They're still trying to drop old girl off at her little place,
Alabasta.
Alabaster.
We find out that Nami is sick as fuck. So they go on this one island. The island's like, fuck you guys, we don't let anybody here. And then somebody shot, and then Vivi got shot, and then shit was finna turn up.
You already see the dugongs?
Yeah.
The kung fu dugongs?
Yeah. Oh, those things are funny.
They're funny.
No, I don't think I did. But either way, so they're on this cold ass, snowy ass fucking island. And so one of the captains was like, alright, we gonna let them come do this shit or whatever, because they ain't beat our ass, because shit was finna get real. But Luffy was like, let me chill the fuck out. Everybody chill the fuck out. So everybody was cool or whatever. So now they're on a search to find this witch doctor. She's apparently like knows everything about healing everybody, but her thing is when she comes and heals you, she's gonna take all your shit. She's gonna take whatever the fuck she want.
Oh, I know where you guys are.
Right.
Yeah, you definitely have seen the Kung Fu Dugan.
Yeah,
it's not a ruin. It's not a spoiler.
So,
it's a miniature.
Pretty much they get to the point where it's like, all right, look, we don't know where the fuck she at. You gotta go up and go see your ass. So they like, all right. So Luffy and Sanji take Nami. Nami's on Luffy's back, and they're climbing up this fucking mountain and shit. And then they run.
That was heartfelt.
Yeah, that shit was cold. So they run into these crazy ass rabbit Wolverine things or whatever, and their ass was fucking spazzing out. So they find a way to get around that shit. Sanji pretty much damn near killed himself to save them or whatever. So Luffy finds Sanji, grabs Sanji, put Sanji on his back. They're climbing up the fucking mountain. And what happened was there was a big ass avalanche because the rabbit monsters, they was on bullshit. They was on super bullshit.
They was so grimy.
They knew grimy.
They're like, oh, you trying to climb up?
Oh, they said fuck all of that. They was tripping. So after the avalanche happened, and it fucked up everybody else at the bottom. That's another thing. But so they're climbing up the thing. Luffy sees one of the little rabbit things, his hand stuck, and then one of the baby rabbit monsters, he's trying to pull his ass out because he sees like daddy dead.
They messed themselves up too.
Yeah, he's like fuck man, and daddy, and then so the little baby rabbit's like, oh shit, I'm about to beat your ass, and then Luffy walked by his ass and he was like, don't beat my ass. And then Luffy pulled out the big rabbit, and then the little rabbit, and he was like, all right, that nigga cool. So they climb up the mountain and shit. Somebody found their ass, tried to stop them, and then the rabbits turned off and just kind of just like, all right, look, we finna help this nigga because he real. So they did that. Luffy is climbing up a fucking mountain that's completely vertical, which is kind of cold. I saw a lot of blood. That shit made me cringe a little bit.
Fingers, bro.
Luffy got real points on that one.
So many real points.
They get there. They meet the witch. They meet the little antler dude. What's his name? What's the little antler dude, man?
Chopper.
They meet Chopper. Chopper can turn to some shit. He's a reindeer that ate devil fruit. He can turn to a big reindeer thing. Whatever.
Do you want to know what devil fruit is, or do you want to wait?
I don't know. But I know he can talk now. He can talk shit. He used to not be able to talk. And he has, he's not Rudolph because he has a blue nose, not a red nose. So Nami's better. Nami was gonna die if she didn't come to the doctor.
He's a reindeer who ate the human fruit.
That was so weird.
Because why is there a human fruit? Wouldn't you expect all the devil fruit to be for humans?
Yeah.
What would a human eating a human fruit do?
I did actually always wonder what would that be.
He's a reindeer who ate a human fruit.
God, Roy.
You don't find that funny?
That's funny as hell.
I find that so funny.
You don't think that's weird, Jordan?
No, I mean, it is funny. It's just the way Roy's just waiting. He's like, a reindeer?
It's always tickled me.
That's internally tickling.
It's always tickled the heck out of me. I'm like, dude, who thinks of this?
Hold up. Anyway. So pretty much I'm at the point now where they're trying to convince Chopper to come with them on the ship, and I'm sure he will. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
You have to show how he hides. He hides wrong.
Yeah, it's wrong.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he does. That is funny.
Like you know how you hide like this?
Yeah.
He hides like this.
He hides out in the open.
Yeah.
Oh, I peeped that shit when he was trying to hide from Nami.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can see it. Oh shit!
And then he,
oh god! Come on, bro.
Are you kidding?
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chopper's funny.
So I'll keep watching One Piece. Like I said though, we're setting things up schedule wise, so we can actually have as soon as the chapter drops, we'll have Jordan here or Roy here or both on certain days when they're both not being busy adults, available to talk about that.